Happy Homebrew Wednesday. How are you all doing? Light's not very good, is it? Well, thought a little bit of a recap of the week, and I think you've seen me blogging quite a lot. Well, I've done quite a lot of videos, so I don't think I've got much to say really today. Tonight I'm just currently cleaning a few bottles. I've got some birthday tomorrow. It's not only the Queen of England's birthday tomorrow, it's my birthday as well. I think that's much better. So I'm gonna take a bottle or two of my IPA, which is almost ready in, just to let the guys have a try. This is quite good, and just relax a little bit. Tomorrow also I've got my homebrewers meetup group. I've got two a month, so got plenty of opportunities to show off what I've done. And yeah, I mean, I made this week, brewing wise, I only made a small batch. I made a wheat beer. That only really took about 3 or 4, or maybe I started fermenting it on Sunday, and it was obviously at 21 degrees, and by about Tuesday afternoon it completely stopped. It's still bubbling away teeny weeny bit, but apart from that, I think it's finished. I'm gonna cold crash it on Friday, I think, maybe, yeah, on Friday. So that's about it really. Right, so what else is other news? I don't think I'll come back to you. Yeah, the SJ Pour homebrew competition's on. I think SJ announced it yesterday. It's quite interesting. Session beers. I think everybody's quite used to making those. Excuse me. Just going to sterilise a few of these things. So yeah, I think I do actually like making session beers. I mean, I find most of the time when I make the really strong ones, they just hang around for ages, and you really have have quite a lot of trouble finding people to actually drink it. I think I was reading a blog today on Facebook, and some guy was talking about the fact that he'd made a 8% beer, and none of his friends would drink it. He couldn't convince it to drink it, it's just too strong, which is, well, I think a lot of people who see my beer, they turn around to me and say, well, why do you always make beer and it's always far too strong? And I think, yeah, well, that's what people are used to. I mean, especially in the UK at the moment, most British beers are generally most like session beers and stuff like that. It's generally about 3.5%, maybe 4%. So yeah, good opportunity. I've got some ideas. I haven't done it before, so I've got some ideas what to do. So yeah, I'm going to think about it in the next few weeks. Obviously, I'm not going to be telling any of you guys about what I'm going to do. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, as you would say. But yeah. So what I'm doing here, look, I'm just sterilising my beer bottles. So what I've got a pressurised container. I've got what have I got in here? I've got Star Sand, obviously, and also I've got I use mineral water in here. But this pressurised container, it cost me about 70p from my local shop, so I really do like it, like most people do. I don't bother too much about when I sterilise these bottles. I just have to give them a good spray, really. Okay, so what I'm going to do, once this is sterilised, I'm going to hook up my gas and I'm just going to get my get my Belchman beer gun here. Let's have a second. So what I normally do before I use this is well, after I finish it, I give it a good wash out, and before I use it, I just generally get a star sand and just squirt it out onto the actual thing itself. Squirt some down the top here. This is where the beer goes in, obviously. And I normally squeeze it together so it flows through. And yeah, I think that's well sterilised. Okay, let's quickly feel some beer. I think you've all, hopefully most of you have seen these beer guns already. But anyway, I've got a couple of beers to fill tonight. I'm going to do a couple of the IPAs, which I fermented a few weeks ago. One's a sample for the guys at work to taste tomorrow, and the other one's to take to my homebrew group tomorrow night. I'm also going to do another. I'm going to do two of the ones for the homebrew group, so that's going to be two of those. I'm going to quickly swap it over and put some of the American Amber into the last one. But anyway, let's quickly go for it. Excuse me. You may notice I've got a new gizmo. It's an external microphone, so I thought if I was going to do this a bit more seriously, I can you can actually hear what I'm saying. So if I do mumble a little bit, you will be able to just about get what I say. Anyway, beer guns. You can get Chinese ones of these for about $35, but why not help people who make the stuff? So generally, you pop it down the bottom, purge the air out, or with a few little squirts, and then start off filling it. And once you've actually got a bit of liquid in there, just fill it right to the top. Okay, I don't think the carbonation is that high in the beer today. I didn't want it that high, but I think when you do serve it out normally, it does get quite fizzy. But this is obviously doing its job. I'm serving at about. I'm actually pumping this out at about. So I think about 10 psi. This is okay. It seems to be working quite well. Anyway, let's quickly swap it over. I'll cut away for 5 minutes and I'll be back in a second. So I'm just going to fill up my my American Amber. Let's have a quick peek at it. One thing I have noticed is that it is quite a dark amber, so maybe it's more like my red, maybe, but we'll see. This one's quite a lot more carbonated up, which I suppose maybe it's in style, but so it's got quite a big head on there. So what I'll do, I'll just pop it in the bucket and overfill it basically, because so what I'll do, I'll just keep filling it and just let the froth come off. Yes, I've actually only just started using. I think I'll leave that for a while. I've only just started using corny kegs, so I'm just getting the hang of the carbonation and stuff like that. So I think I'll get the hang of it after a while. Right, so that will go. So yeah, it's quite a fizzy one. And there we are, eventually full. Okay, well, have a good Homebrew Wednesday, everybody, and I'll maybe see you next week. Cheers. This is good beer.